What's going on YouTube? It is T90 and I am very happy to supply you with this next game. Ha! I'm hilarious, I know. Well, if you didn't leave the video already because of that awful joke, I think you're going to enjoy this. It is a 1v1 between two high-level players. Hoang, I'm sure you all know, the high-level player from Vietnam. He's here in the blue, playing as his Celts. And then Sobek is the best, well, I don't know if it's fair to say he's the best Chilean player anymore. There are a few big names out there, but he is one of the best Chilean players who is currently ranked 35th in the world. So he's up there, Hoang is up there, and they faced off the other day in a ranked game on Gold Rush. Now, Gold Rush is the map for aggression, and Supplies is a new tech, which I haven't seen used all that often, at least in the early game, and that is all about aggression as well. It costs 150 food and 100 gold, and after researching that, your Militia line costs minus 15 food. This normally isn't hugely significant in the Feudal Age. If you're in late Castle Age or the Imperial Age where you have a lot of economy and a lot of resources floating, this makes sense. When you can create upwards of 10, it makes sense. I've seen a lot of lower rated players researching that and then only producing 1 or 2 man-at-arms. It's really not worth it when it means your Militia line goes from 60 food to 45 food, and it costs 150 food and 100 gold. But since we have two high-level players here, one of these players is going to show you just how that can be used and how it plays out in a competitive game. So on Gold Rush, each player has 7 tiles of gold. There's 4 tiles here for Sobek and 3. For Hoang, he has his 7 tiles right on the same part of your screen. In fact, he also has a lot of his stones there as well. So it's all about being aggressive for those golds. Hoang, he plays it a little bit differently though. He likes to go for fast castles on all maps, not just Gold Rush. And he also likes to try and steal boars. So, well, there he went. There he tried to steal Sobek's boar. But recently, the patch came in where it takes 2 hits on a boar for a scout to aggro it now, which I think is a good change. So Hoang really enjoyed the fact that for a while there, in fact months, you could just get 1 hit on an enemy scout and bring the boar all the way back to your base. And now it's 1 hit for a villager, and it's 2 hits for military units, which I think is a good play. And wow, Sobek with the quick fingers. Oh wow, he tried to quick wall there. He knows that Hoang's scout is weak after the attempted lane. He tried to wall it in a bit, and get some more hits. So, I want to start this off talking about Hoang. They're in Dark Age now, so there's not too much going on. We have to talk about this, because you guys have to know why Sobek will have to play the way he plays in this game. Hoang is both the most aggressive and passive player at the same time, and at different stages. So, what he likes to do is he likes to start off Dark Age with a whole bunch of militia, which is a lot of aggression, but it's because he's a very passive Feudal Age player. He likes to go from Dark Age into Feudal Age and then immediately into Castle Age. So right now you already see the Barracks. This is aggression. You could consider this aggression. What's interesting about it is it's aggression so he can be passive behind it. You know, like he buys himself time so he doesn't need to do an awful lot. It's interesting. But after those militia buy him time, he tends to go up to the next stage, and he loves Celts. He loves to go knights and siege and monks, and I was watching his stream the other day. He said, in broken English, he does not think that Celts is best, but he thinks Celts is the most fun for him. So I think that has something to do with that drush. He's trying to bring in his boar now, and Sobek wanted some revenge. That's funny. But Hoang had already hit it, so he's bringing in his food. Now, what you normally see from Celts, from anyone but Hoang, and it is Celts for Sobek as well, is a man-at-arms build. So, you normally build the mill and send forward berries, then at 20 population you build a barracks, you create 2 more villagers and send them to gold, and then you go to Feudal Age, and then you upgrade your infantry. And so, this is interesting because we have 2 people with the same civilization. Obviously, Sobek knows Hoang's reputation. Everyone at the high level has played Hoang or knows Hoang at least. But Sobek feels like the best way to play this is not by being passive in the mid game, but it's by being very aggressive. So Hoang, he likes to be aggressive in early game, passive mid game, and then late game, or for him, Castle Age, he likes to be aggressive. Sobek doesn't want to let it get to that third stage, right? He wants to push, and push hard. Now, Hoang went for the classic place palisade on wolf trick. That just reminds him where the wolves are. And this very much looks intentional. I'm not sure if he sent this first militia forward to lure the wolves to Sobek, or if he just wants to clear them out of the middle for the rest of his buddies. But here comes Hoang. And it very much looks like a wolf rush. So he's rounded up the wolves. This is hilarious. He's sending the wolves towards Sobek's base. He has a very weak scout. Well, now he has a dead scout. And he saw that Sobek was here. But guys, what's funny is, as the wolves come in, the militia gets shot, and I guess the wolves will get shot to the TC. Sobek was just passing on this side. He'll have 3 militia, he will have the resources to go for man-at-arms, and oh, now he's running into wolves. Well, this is DE Gold Rush for you. There are so many wolves on this map, it's crazy. Which also tends to discourage aggression. The Hidden Cup 3 version will fix some of these issues, but I mean, there will still be wolves to the people who like the wolf rushes. It's just not as extreme. How annoyed would you be? Like, Sobek knows he needs to do damage, but he has to spend a whole minute dealing with animals and taking damage. It's usually not so good, but Hoang, he doesn't know about this. And, oh, here we go. Here are his militia. Sobek didn't get the chance to wall on the front, but he did nicely quick wall on the golds. And he's keeping units out. So, I want you guys to remember, supplies is only worth it if you have the economy to produce at least 10 man-at-arms after that upgrade. So that's 150, well, actually, let's back up. That would be 100 food and 40 gold for the man-at-arms upgrade. Then 150 food and 100 gold for supplies. Then all the resources for the actual units. So, Sobek is not there yet, okay? I don't think it would be worth it to research supplies right now. But it is worth it to run into Hoang's base when Hoang has a hole, and it's definitely the right move to be aggressive and take Hoang off of that gold on Gold Rush. Really excited to show you guys how supplies does or doesn't work here, because, again, it's expensive, but it can be worth it in the mid-game. Alright, well, I think mission accomplished for Sobek. He knows Hoang, he knows that Hoang is going for Fast Castle, and he now knows that Hoang doesn't have any gold on Gold Rush. He's also going to mine his stone. Hoang is still in Dark Age, guys. He's the only player who can get away with being this greedy and still make it work in games. It's crazy. Still in Dark Age. Didn't research Loom until the opponent arrived with military. Okay, Sobek has produced 2 more man-at-arms. And now he's produced a third. Or I guess that's total of 6. Again, it's 150 food and 100 gold. That's pretty expensive. So he has to decide between making like 3 more units right now or possibly researching supplies. And I think he decides, all right, I need to produce a few more right now because I am pushing. I need to push fast. Supplies could be in his near future. And I agree with this. I really think that right now supplies probably isn't the play. Because it's better to get units to Hoang's base before Hoang can tower up or make archers or whatever Hoang's going to go for. But eventually, guys, eventually, keep in mind Sobek is still creating villagers at home so that the economy does get stronger for him. Now, that's a good tower for Sobek. That means that Hoang will probably have to abandon this entire wood line. But look at this sneaky fella! Look at this sneaky fella! He just snuck around. Actually, I think he is on deer here, and Sobek completely passed that earlier, even after seeing the deer were being eaten. Sometimes when you're in-game, you don't notice that, but yeah, Hoang ended up making it to the gold anyways. So there's always the risk that Sobek could see that. Hoang was attacking the barracks. Sobek sends 4 men-at-arms out. And so Hoang does not want Sobek to find that. So he's sending his units the opposite direction, which is a good play. But yeah, this is a disaster. Surely Hoang won't have the resources to go Castle Age. But wait, he does have the resources to go Castle Age. He's building a stable forward. He's building a tower on the gold. Hoang will make it happen. And red, he knows Hoang is going to make it happen. Supplies is on the way in. This is the first time I've seen supplies be useful, and I think be researched at all in high-level games in Feudal Age. Yes, you see it in Castle Age. Yes, you see it in Imp when you have more resources. But in Feudal Age, all-in supplies rush? It's not really a supplies rush, but you know what I mean. It leads to the man-at-arms rush. All right. Well, guys, Sobek just spotted this. I don't think I don't think that he expected Hoang to be here. He probably expected Hoang to have a market. Hoang could have been selling, right? Selling some wood, selling some food. Now he realizes, oh shoot. Alright, he has gold, he has a stable, he's going to be going knights. He's probably on his way to Castle Age. It's also dangerous too because Celts have amazing scorpions. And I imagine with enough scorpions and knights, the man-at-arms would get shredded. So here comes that production. It's so much cheaper now for Sobek. So he built a second barracks, and he will produce spearmen and man-at-arms. Supplies does not affect the spearman line, but he feels like he needs some spears in the mix, and I agree. Because he knows some knights will be coming out. He also wants to attack the stable, and I have to say that was a well-placed tower from Hoang. Or at least a well-placed stable, because what it does for the most part is it takes care of militia, or man-at-arms rather, when they attack the stable. Not all the time, though. Not all the time. Maybe the stable could have been closer. By the way, a tower on the front for Sobek. This is good pressure. This is a lot of that farm eco that Hoang needs. But let's be honest. Hoang just arrived with more villagers on gold. He's going to abuse the market. And Sobek is creating tons of spearmen. Wouldn't it be embarrassing? I really have to go back and do the math here, but I don't think supplies has been worth it yet. Because he's producing mainly spearmen, so I hope he produces more man-at-arms for this video. There we go, okay. Alright. I know there's someone out there counting. There's probably a lot of you counting. Like, oh, is it worth it yet? Wow, look at this creative walling from Hoang, right? So he walls in his villagers, and you would think that Sobek could break in here, but no, he can't. Because now there's a scorpion in there. A faster firing scorpion because he is Celts. Really interesting. Now Sobek got housed. He got pop-locked badly there. He has 5 man-at-arms queued up. Guys, without supplies, I don't know if he'd be able to afford 3 barrack production. With only 13 farmers, I'm not so sure. But he is building houses now. And he's on the move in. Now Hoang figures, alright, I think I'm fine now. I have 2 scorpions. I have 2 knights. There's no way he can afford to get more numbers out. With 2 scorpions and 3 knights now, and a hill bonus, I should be okay. But look at the numbers. The swarm! The supply swarm! Sobek, he has so many more units. He has 25 military units versus the 6 of Hoang. So yes, the scorpions will do work. Yes, the man-at-arms are going down. Yes, the KD's not that pretty. What is going to be pretty is the position that Sobek will gain. A tower is going up behind this that will range some of the gold. Villagers are already dying for Hoang. The scorpions are even going down. And the production won't stop. The supply production continues. This is beautiful play from Sobek. This is the type of all-in that you need against a player like Hoang. Well, Hoang was a bit fortunate to be able to get out here in the first place after the strong opening from Sobek. And Hoang, he didn't expect the numbers. He certainly doesn't expect there to be more, but they continue. And so the worry for him is that he was off gold for the last minute or two, and he has not had the gold to make any more scorpions. So if you're wondering why isn't Hoang producing, he actually doesn't have the food for a lot of knights. But more importantly here, I think he did not have the gold to make 2 or 3 scorpions again. And the production has continued from Sobek, and the towers have continued as well. And now Sobek sees this. I mean, there's 2 knights here, and there's like 12, 13 infantry units from Sobek. And Hoang, he actually just went AFK for a bit. It was like, I like stood up from the computer. Hoang never has a mic on during his stream, so I don't know exactly what what he was doing. I don't know if he was sighing or crying or yelling, or maybe he just didn't GG right away and didn't move, but he flat out just went AFK, like, what just happened to me? That was crazy, and he will GG here in a second, but Sobek took advantage of supplies in this game against a very well-known player, a player who always finds a way to hold on in those situations and push in early Castle Age. Didn't happen this time. Well played, Sobek. So what I am thinking of is, I wonder how this game would have played out differently if Sobek would have researched supplies before producing everything after the 3 Man-at-Arms. Do you remember that? Like the initial 3 Man-at-Arms. He definitely would not have been able to get to the 6 he got to at that time. Remember, he went from 3 to 6. And I think it's probably the safe play to add the 6. Or the additional 3 and make it 6. But if he researches supplies there and just waits a minute or two, then I think the potential flood is even stronger. And with Celts, the infantry's so quick. You saw, like, Hoang he's quick, so his quick fingers were good with the quick walls here, but the second that things got hairy, those units just swooped in and destroyed him. So I genuinely feel like, with certain civilizations, like, I think Slavs gets this for free, right? But Celts in particular, because of the speed, this is something that can work. In 1v1s, you can go for all-ins like this, and you still have that Celt economy behind where they chop wood faster. Look at the amount of farms he has. Like, this is beautiful. This was so well executed from Sobek. I hope to see more from this guy. He could have easily made it into the rankings where he needed to be to get into the Hidden Cup 3 qualifiers, but he wasn't playing, he wasn't active. And so he will not be there, but maybe in the future he'll be active in tournaments. Certainly he's been active in rated games over the last few days, which is when I saw this. More food collected for Sobek. Obviously he saved some food as well with supplies upgrade. It's cool to see. So for all you low elo legends out there, this is what supplies can do if you actually produce non-stop in Feudal Age. Otherwise, probably don't get the upgrade until Castle Age or Imperial Age. Thank you guys for watching. Let me know in the comments what you think of this upgrade, because I don't think it just buffs Feudal Age Man-at-Arm play. I think it complements the infantry line nicely in the Imperial Age. And have a great day, guys. Thanks for watching.